Welcome, traveler of the night, to a gentle journey across the hidden wonders of the earth, where time slows down and every detail softens into a lullaby. Tonight, we drift into the realm of volcanoes, those towering guardians of the planet's breath, often misunderstood as symbols of fury and chaos. Yet beneath their surface lies a rhythm of patience, balance, and beauty. Here, in this moment, as you allow your body to sink into rest and your mind to loosen from the noise of the day, volcanoes will reveal themselves not as violent eruptions, but as timeless storytellers, whispering from the core of the earth to the edges of the sky. Close your eyes if you wish, and picture a vast horizon at twilight. The air is calm, heavy with silence, and before you rises the silhouette of a volcano, not in eruption, but in quiet stillness. Its slopes are smooth, curved like the slow brush of a painter's hand. A gentle haze lingers around the peak, where snow glows softly under moonlight, and streams of warm air rise as if the mountain itself is exhaling. Far from danger, this presence feels steady, protective, almost maternal. To know that beneath your feet lies a vast ocean of molten rock might sound unsettling, but in this setting it is comforting, like knowing the heart of the earth beats steadily, keeping life above in balance. Volcanoes remind us of time's deepest secrets. They are not sudden but eternal. They are monuments to patience, to cycles far longer than human memory. A single eruption might take minutes, but the building of a volcanic mountain takes thousands of years, sometimes millions, grain by grain, layer by layer. Imagine that process as though watching in a dream. Molten stone rising from the depths, flowing gently, cooling slowly into new land. Over centuries, forests grow on those lands. Birds nest on those slopes. People build villages nearby, and generations pass without ever seeing the fiery heart within. What we see as destructive bursts are only small notes in the symphony of creation that volcanoes conduct. Consider Mount Fuji in Japan, one of the most symmetrical and graceful volcanoes on Earth. For centuries, artists and poets have found in its perfect cone not terror but tranquility. Covered in snow for much of the year, it seems less like a volcano and more like a shrine to balance itself. Pilgrims climb its slopes not to fear the fire below, but to feel closer to the heavens above. Think of this image: a volcano, still, quiet, its base surrounded by lakes that reflect its mirrored form, its summit dissolving into clouds. In such a vision, the volcano becomes a temple of serenity, holding within it both the memory of fire and the promise of calm. As you breathe deeply now, imagine the Earth's interior. Beneath the crust lies the mantle, a slow ocean of heat and molten rock. It does not rage. It flows slowly, like honey moving across stone, carrying with it minerals, elements, the building blocks of new land. Volcanoes are the gentle windows into this hidden world, openings where the earth whispers of its inner life. To fall asleep with this image is to know that even the planet itself has an inner rhythm, a circulation, a steady warmth at its heart, much like the warmth in your own body that keeps you alive and at peace. Every volcano carries a story. Some rise quietly from the sea, like Mauna Kea in Hawaii, whose base lies far beneath the ocean floor, making it the tallest mountain in the world when measured from its true roots. Yet it does not roar. It grows gently with slow eruptions that extend the land inch by inch, creating islands where birds sing and flowers bloom. Others, like Stromboli in Italy, breathe with a steady pulse, small eruptions every few minutes, not to frighten, but to remind us of the constancy of the Earth's breath. These gentle patterns are like the rhythm of waves, or the beating of a heart, or the steady rise and fall of your chest as you drift into rest. Volcanoes also bring life. Their ashes, far from being barren, feed the soil with rich minerals, making valleys and fields around them some of the most fertile places on Earth. Think of vineyards on the slopes of Mount Etna, or rice fields near Mount Merapi, nourished by centuries of volcanic gifts. The land remembers the fire, transforms it, and offers abundance in return. This cycle, fire to soil, soil to harvest, harvest to life, is a circle as calm and steady as the cycles of your own body. Inhale, exhale, wake, sleep, rest, dream. Picture now a volcanic landscape under the stars. Lava once flowed here, but now it has cooled into stone, forming black rock fields that stretch like frozen rivers. Moss grows on them, softening their surface. The air is cool, carrying the scent of minerals, and silence drapes itself over the land. Somewhere, deep beneath, warmth still stirs, but above the world is calm, eternal, patient. To lie here under the stars beside the quiet shape of a volcano is to feel both the strength and gentleness of the earth cradling you into stillness. As we move further into this journey together, remember that volcanoes are not only about fire, they are about balance. They hold within them a paradox, destruction and creation, silence and eruption, stillness and motion. In the rhythm of these opposites lies the same truth that guides you into rest, the ability to let go, to release, to transform. Just as the earth exhales its inner heat to form new land, you can exhale your thoughts, release your tensions, and let your mind drift into new spaces of calm. And as you continue to breathe slowly, letting this imagery guide you deeper, know that this is only the beginning of our gentle exploration. Many more soothing truths about volcanoes await, each one an invitation to let your body rest heavier, your thoughts loosen further, your eyes grow softer until sleep itself arrives like a warm tide. Before we continue, let me gently invite you to be part of this journey in a lasting way. If you find peace in these stories, if this calm has touched your evening, consider liking this video, sharing it with someone who might need rest, leaving a comment below about what part of volcanoes brings you the most wonder, and subscribing to the channel so you can return night after night to moments of peace like this. Your presence here is a quiet but powerful gift, and together, we will keep building a space of serenity, one story at a time. Block 2. Whispers from the Earth's heart. Beneath the surface of the Earth, far deeper than we ever walk, deeper than the roots of mountains or the silent reach of ancient rivers, there exists a world of warmth and quiet movement, a place where molten rock flows with infinite patience, never hurried, never rushed, always following the eternal rhythm of the planet's heart. This is where volcanoes are born, not in violence but in stillness, where the mantle of the earth, a sea of fire and stone, breathes slowly, stretching and folding, preparing pathways that will one day become mountains. Imagine that you are drifting downward in a dream, sinking slowly past layers of stone, through caverns untouched by human eyes, until you reach that glowing mantle. It is not chaotic here. Instead, it is soft, like the glow of embers in a fireplace that have been left to smolder through the night. The light is orange, red, golden, pulsing faintly, as though the earth itself is exhaling, inhaling, resting. Volcanoes begin as whispers in this hidden world. A crack opens, too small to notice, yet wide enough for warmth to seep upward. Over thousands of years, pressure builds, but not urgently, not frantically, only with the steadiness of tides, the same patience that wears down cliffs into sand. Imagine watching molten rock rise, not quickly, but drop by drop, pooling slowly, melting passages through the stone. It is like watching honey drip in slow motion, forming threads of warmth that wind their way toward the surface. This is the secret behind every volcano you have ever seen, the quiet persistence of the earth, shaping, reshaping, breathing. Now picture the very first moment when that molten rock reaches the surface. It is not explosive in your vision, but calm, a gentle stream of lava glowing softly in the night, moving so slowly that you could walk beside it without fear. Surface darkens as it cools, forming new land, while inside it still glows, warm and alive. In places like Hawaii, such flows have created entire islands, vast stretches of paradise that rise from the sea. What looks like destruction is, in truth, creation. Each eruption is the earth painting new landscapes, expanding its canvas, offering more space for forests, for animals, for people. To fall asleep to this thought is to know that change, even when fiery, can be gentle in the long measure of time. There is a profound serenity in imagining a volcano as it sleeps. Dormant volcanoes, their fires resting, stand like guardians of silence. Their peaks are often softened by snow, their bases wrapped in forests, their slopes dotted with villages where life carries on as though the mountain were only stone. And yet, deep within, the warmth remains, not restless but calm, like the memory of a fire that once glowed in a hearth. To walk along those slopes in your mind is to hear birdsong echoing against rock, to see wildflowers growing in cracks carved centuries ago, to feel the solid earth beneath your feet, as if it has always been there waiting to cradle you. Volcanoes also shape the seas. Beneath the surface of oceans far away from any shore, new volcanoes rise quietly from the depths, their lava flowing unseen, forming islands that one day break the surface. Think of Iceland, a land born almost entirely from volcanoes, a place where fire and ice coexist in harmony. Its hot springs bubble like the earth's sighs, releasing warmth into the air, creating pools where people rest and heal. Imagine lying in such a spring, steam curling into the cold air, snow falling softly around you while beneath the water. Heat from the earth itself holds you in comfort. Volcanoes make such moments possible, combining opposites, ice and fire, stillness and movement, into perfect balance. Even the sound of a volcano can be soothing. Far from explosions, many volcanoes release gentle hisses of steam, soft rumbles that roll like distant thunder. Reminders of the Earth's voice. To hear these sounds is to remember that you are not alone on the planet. You are part of a living world, and its heartbeat continues, steady and calm. The thought that beneath us the Earth moves slowly, carefully, and endlessly can bring deep peace, for it tells us that life is larger than our worries, that rest is natural, that patience is woven into the fabric of existence. As you let your breathing match the rhythm of these images, you may feel as though you too are part of this quiet circulation. The warmth of the earth becomes the warmth in your chest. The rise and fall of molten tides becomes the rise and fall of your breath. Volcanoes are not separate from you. They are the Earth's way of showing that even its deepest fires can move gently, quietly, endlessly, shaping the future in silence. And with this thought, you can let yourself sink deeper into rest, carried by the slow heartbeat of a planet that never hurries, that always waits, that always breathes. Block 3, the sleeping giants of time. When you close your eyes and let the images of volcanoes drift slowly across your mind, you may find yourself standing before one of the great sleeping giants of our planet. Those enormous forms that rise toward the sky yet remain quiet, their fiery breath hidden deep within, their slopes covered not in glowing lava, but in forests, meadows, and streams. These dormant volcanoes, resting in stillness, remind us that even the most powerful forces of nature must pause, must rest, must wait. There is something deeply calming in the thought that a mountain that once roared with fire now stands silently, softened by snow, decorated by the gentle life that grows upon its sides. As you imagine yourself walking up one of these slopes, your steps sink into moss, your hands brush against flowers that bloom in the cracks of ancient lava flows, and the air is filled not with smoke, but with birdsong. The volcano, though vast and strong, is at peace, and in its peace you too find rest. Every dormant volcano carries the memory of fire, like embers that have cooled but not disappeared. The earth never extinguishes its warmth completely. It simply hides it, holds it, saves it for another age. If you lean close in your imagination, you may hear the faintest hum, like a distant heartbeat, a reminder that within this sleeping mountain there is still life, still energy, still breath. Yet it is not urgent, it is patient. Centuries may pass, even millennia, and the volcano will remain still, its slopes carved by rain, its summit touched by clouds, its valleys filled with rivers. In this way, volcanoes become timeless, existing beyond the hurry of human lives, beyond the rush of seasons. They remind us that slowness is not weakness, that silence is not emptiness, that rest is not an absence of life but a different form of it, a deeper, quieter one. Imagine the landscapes shaped by these giants, fields of volcanic soil spread wide, fertile and generous, feeding crops and orchards that sway gently in the wind. Villages rise nearby, their lights twinkling at night like stars scattered at the base of the mountain. People walk these lands each day, often forgetting the fire that made them possible, living in harmony with the stillness of the volcano. And when the sun sets, shadows stretch across the slopes, and the volcano looks like a guardian standing watch over the valley, a silent protector. To fall asleep with such an image is to feel safe, watched over, embraced by a presence larger than yourself, yet infinitely calm. Some volcanoes have slept so long that they have changed form entirely, their craters filled with lakes that mirror the sky, their rims softened into green hills. Crater Lake in Oregon, once a great volcano, now holds water so pure that it reflects clouds as if the heavens themselves had descended to rest within the earth. Standing by such a lake in your imagination, you see the still surface ripple only with the gentlest breeze, the deep blue stretching endlessly, and you feel the weight of time itself folding softly around you. The volcano that once erupted with unimaginable force now cradles silence, now offers water, now invites reflection. There is no rush here, no urgency, only the quiet patience of ages. Even the tallest of these giants, like Mount Kilimanjaro in Africa, carry this duality. Snow crowns its summit, while its base thrives with life, from elephants moving slowly across the plains to forests echoing with the songs of unseen birds. The volcano is immense, but its immensity is gentle. It does not push forward with sound or fury, but simply stands, timeless, steady, dignified. To picture it as you rest is to feel the same dignity within yourself, the ability to be still and strong, to carry warmth deep inside without needing to release it, to simply exist and breathe. As you drift further into relaxation, imagine that you are lying at the base of one of these giants. The earth beneath you is firm, ancient, solid, built layer by layer through countless years of fire and rest. Above you, the volcano rises into the clouds, yet it does not feel heavy. It feels protective, like a roof of stone and sky sheltering you. Night falls slowly, stars appear one by one, and the air cools around you. You feel the silence deepen, not empty but full, full of the quiet presence of the mountain, full of the slow rhythm of the planet itself. This silence does not ask anything of you. It only invites you to breathe, to let go, to sleep. The sleeping giants remind us that rest is part of every cycle. Just as volcanoes pause for centuries between eruptions, you too are invited to pause between days, to let your body and mind rest deeply, to gather strength in stillness. Sleep, like the dormant volcano, is not the end but a stage of transformation. In silence, new energy forms. In stillness, the future is prepared. And so, as you listen now, you can feel the same truth within yourself, that resting is powerful, that sleep is creative, that stillness is alive. Let yourself drift on this thought, carried gently by the guardians of time, the sleeping giants of the earth. Their patience becomes your patience, their silence your silence, their timeless rest your own. And with each slow breath, you settle deeper, safe within the embrace of mountains that wait without hurry, sleep without fear, and remind you that the world is always alive, even in its quietest moments. Block 4. Rivers of fire, oceans of calm. When you hear the words lava or eruption, your first thought may be of chaos, of unstoppable rivers of fire rushing across the land. But if you let your imagination soften, if you slow the images in your mind until they drift like smoke across the night air, you will see lava differently. Lava, in truth, is one of the slowest, gentlest painters of the Earth's surface. It flows with patience, never hurried, spreading its warmth across valleys and plains, hardening gradually into new land. To watch lava, even in thought, is to watch time itself move in liquid form. It does not rush, it glides, it curls, it spreads like a blanket across the soil, warming everything in its path. And as it cools, it transforms, becoming stone, becoming foundation, becoming the very ground we stand on. What once looked like destruction reveals itself as creation, a new chapter in the Earth's long story. Picture the night sky above Hawaii, where glowing streams of lava move toward the ocean. From a distance, it is not frightening but mesmerizing, a gentle ribbon of orange weaving its way through the darkness. The air shimmers with heat, and yet the scene is calm, as if the earth itself is exhaling slowly after holding its breath for centuries. The sound is not violent but soothing, the crackle of cooling rock, the soft hiss as lava meets water, steam rising like a quiet sigh. It is a lullaby of elements, fire, air, water, earth, all meeting in harmony. To let this image settle in your mind is to feel the same harmony within yourself, the meeting of opposites blending into balance, the warmth of your body meeting the coolness of the night around you. Volcanoes teach us that even fire has its calm side. When lava flows slowly, it invites life to return. Seeds carried by wind settle into the cracks of cooled stone. Moss spreads like a green carpet. Trees take root, and soon a forest grows where once only fire reigned. The soil left behind is among the richest in the world, feeding rice fields, vineyards, and gardens that thrive with abundance. Imagine standing in such a place, the ground dark beneath your feet but alive with green above, the air filled with the scent of leaves and the sweetness of fruit. All of it, every blade of grass, every petal of flower was born from lava's gift. Fire became soil, soil became life, life became beauty. Think now of lava entering the sea. The ocean, vast and eternal, meets the fire of the earth, and instead of conflict, there is transformation. New land rises from the waves, glowing at first, then cooling into rock, then softening into shores where birds nest and waves lap gently. Entire islands, entire worlds begin this way, not with noise but with patience, not with violence but with the quiet merging of elements. To imagine this is to remember that opposites, fire and water, day and night, wakefulness and sleep, can meet and create something new, something beautiful, something enduring. Even the hardened lava fields hold their own calm. Walk through them in your mind. Black stone stretching like frozen rivers, shapes twisted into strange sculptures, patterns etched by heat and time. The silence here is profound, broken only by the wind brushing across rock, carrying with it the faint scent of minerals and the memory of fire. Some call these landscapes barren, but if you look closer, you see life returning. Tiny plants clinging to cracks, birds landing on jagged edges, rain pooling in small hollows. It is proof that from fire comes renewal, from endings come beginnings, from silence comes song. As you let your thoughts wander deeper into this imagery, you may notice how it mirrors your own journey into rest. Just as lava flows slowly, cooling into solid ground, your thoughts flow through your mind, one by one, and then they cool, they settle, they fade. What was once restless becomes still. What was once movement becomes foundation. Sleep, too, is like lava turning to stone. It reshapes the landscape of your mind, laying down layers of calm, building a new surface for the day to come. And so as you breathe gently now, imagine yourself lying on warm volcanic rock at dusk. The stone beneath you holds the memory of fire, releasing a soft heat that soothes your body, easing your muscles, slowing your thoughts. Above, the sky deepens into shades of indigo and violet, stars beginning to appear, their light shimmering faintly. The air is quiet, carrying only the occasional whisper of wind. You are safe here, cradled by the earth, surrounded by landscapes shaped by patience and time. The rivers of fire have passed, and what remains is calm, eternal, and steady. Let this thought carry you further into rest, that even in fire there is gentleness, even in change there is peace, even in endings there is the quiet promise of beginnings. Lava, like sleep, is transformation, slow, steady, unstoppable, and profoundly soothing. And with each passing moment, as your body grows heavier and your mind drifts softer, you become part of this eternal cycle, flowing gently into the ocean of calm that awaits you. Block 5, the breath of the earth. If you lean into the silence of the night and let your imagination wander toward the heart of the planet, you may feel the earth exhaling around you, slowly, endlessly, in a rhythm so ancient that it predates all memory. Volcanoes are not only mountains of stone, they are the breath of the earth made visible, the gentle release of warmth and gases that have traveled upward from the hidden depths. To picture this is to imagine standing on a quiet slope where thin streams of steam curl upward from cracks in the ground, dissolving softly into the air, vanishing without sound. These are not violent eruptions but whispers, the planet sighs, the same way your chest rises and falls when you drift into rest. And as you let this image settle in your thoughts, you realize how deeply connected you are to this rhythm, how your own breath mirrors the breathing of the earth, how both follow the same patient pattern, inhale, exhale, stillness. The gases that escape from volcanoes carry with them the hidden chemistry of the world beneath. Sulfur, carbon dioxide, water vapor, ingredients that have shaped the very air we breathe. Long ago, when the planet was still young, it was volcanic breath that filled the atmosphere, preparing it for life, making it possible for oceans to form, for forests to grow, for people to walk across its surface. Without the slow breathing of volcanoes, the earth would be silent and barren. Instead, it is alive, and every sigh of steam that drifts upward is a reminder of that life. Picture it now, a field of fumaroles in Iceland, where the ground breathes like a sleeping creature, small clouds rising gently, curling in the cool air, shimmering in the morning light. The sound is soft, a hiss, a whisper, no louder than leaves moving in the wind. To stand there in thought is to feel the planet exhaling into your skin, reminding you that you are never separate from the world that sustains you. Volcanoes, in their breathing, also give us hot springs, those pools of warmth where water is heated by the fire beneath and rises to the surface to cradle anyone who enters. Imagine sinking into such a spring, your body enveloped in warmth that seeps slowly into your muscles, releasing every tension, every worry, until you feel lighter, freer, softer. The air above is cool, carrying the scent of minerals, while the water around you glows faintly with steam. Here, time loses meaning. Minutes feel like hours, hours like dreams. These hot springs are gifts of volcanic breath, turning fire into comfort, turning the hidden energy of the earth into healing. To rest in them, even in imagination, is to feel weightless, carried, safe. The breath of volcanoes also shapes landscapes of color. Sulfur vents paint the ground in yellows and oranges, while minerals stain rocks in reds and greens, creating fields that look like abstract paintings scattered across the earth. To walk through such a place in thought is to step into a dreamscape, where every color whispers of the hidden fires below. Yet even in their strangeness, these places are calm, quiet, filled only with the sound of steam rising and the slow shifting of the earth's breath. No rush, no danger, only the patience of a planet that has been exhaling for billions of years. As you listen now, notice how your own breath follows the same pattern. Inhale slowly, filling your chest, then release softly, letting everything go. The volcano does not hold its breath forever. It releases it just as you do, just as you must. And in this release lies peace, the kind of peace that comes when tension dissolves, when heat transforms into comfort, when silence embraces you fully. With every breath you take, you become more aligned with this rhythm, until it feels as though the earth itself is breathing you into sleep. Imagine lying down on warm stone near a vent where steam rises gently. The surface beneath you is solid and grounding, the air around you filled with faint mist, the world hushed except for the steady sighs of the earth. Stars shine above, distant and timeless, while the mountain at your side glows faintly in the moonlight. You feel as though you are lying within the chest of the planet itself, rising and falling with each breath, safe within its embrace. In this place, nothing is hurried. In this place, you are part of something vast and eternal, and that realization softens every thought, loosens every muscle, and carries you deeper into rest. So let the image of volcanic breath guide you further tonight. Let each inhalation remind you of the warmth hidden within the earth. Let each exhalation remind you that release brings calm, and let the silence between remind you that stillness is alive. The earth breathes endlessly, and you breathe with it. In that unity lies peace, and in that peace lies the path to sleep. Block 6, Landscapes Forged in Silence. As you drift deeper into this journey, imagine walking slowly across a land that was once fire, but is now stillness. A place where the earth revealed its hidden heart, and then left it open for you to wander in peace. Volcanic landscapes are unlike any others, sculpted by forces both patient and powerful. Yet what lingers is not violence but silence. The ground beneath your feet may be dark and rough, shaped by hardened lava that once flowed like rivers of light, now frozen in place, forming curves, ridges, and ripples that look like waves stopped mid-motion. To walk here in thought is to feel as though you are stepping across time itself, across a painting that has cooled into stone, across a memory of fire now softened into eternal calm. Every volcanic landscape carries its own personality, and each one invites you to pause and listen. In Hawaii, cooled lava fields stretch for miles, their black surfaces catching the golden glow of the setting sun. creating a horizon that seems endless, a vast canvas of quiet strength. In Iceland, fields of moss cover ancient lava, transforming jagged stone into a soft carpet of green, making the land feel alive again, healed and renewed. In Italy, near Vesuvius, fertile soil rich with volcanic ash nourishes vineyards that produce some of the most delicate wines, proof that what once burned can also give life. Each of these places is born of silence after fire, reminders that endings become beginnings, and that creation often hides within destruction. Now picture yourself resting within one of these landscapes. Perhaps you sit on a smooth boulder of basalt, its surface warmed gently by the sun. Around you, the air is still, the silence broken only by the faint call of a bird or the whisper of wind. The horizon feels open, infinite, uncluttered. You notice how grounded you feel here, how safe, how deeply connected to the Earth's body. The stone beneath you has been here for centuries, perhaps millennia, and it will remain long after you are gone, carrying your presence tonight as one brief moment in its vast memory. To be part of such a landscape, even in imagination, is to feel held by time itself. Some volcanic landscapes take the form of perfect cones rising into the sky, their symmetry so striking that they resemble works of art. Mount Mayon in the Philippines is often called the most beautiful volcano in the world, its slopes forming a flawless triangle that seems too perfect to be natural. Yet there it stands, shaped by centuries of eruptions, by fire and stone, by cycles of building and resting. Looking at such a mountain in thought fills you not with fear but with awe, a quiet reverence for the patience of the earth, for its ability to create forms of such elegance out of molten chaos. This elegance soothes you, reminding you that even within apparent disorder there is harmony, even within change there is beauty. Other volcanic landscapes are marked by craters, vast bowls carved into the earth, sometimes filled with water so still that it reflects the sky like a mirror. Think of Crater Lake once again, its surface deep and blue, its rim high and green, the silence so profound that you feel as though the world has stopped to breathe. To stand by such a lake in your imagination is to enter a sanctuary, a place where nothing presses on you, where time folds inward, where even your thoughts grow still. The crater that once roared with fire now holds serenity, proving that peace can emerge from the fiercest storms. Volcanic deserts also exist, stretches of land where rock replaces soil, where the ground is bare yet strangely alive. These deserts are not empty. They are filled with forms, textures, and quiet mysteries. Strange towers of stone rise where lava cooled unevenly, caves open where molten rivers once flowed, and fields of ash shimmer faintly under moonlight. To walk through such a place in thought is to hear your own footsteps echo, reminding you that silence is not the absence of sound, but the presence of space, of openness, of possibility. As you continue breathing slowly, imagine lying down in one of these landscapes, your body supported by warm rock, your mind surrounded by infinite quiet. The volcano does not rush you. It does not demand anything. It simply exists, and in its existence you are free to let go, to release the day, to dissolve into rest. The landscapes forged in silence become mirrors for your own need for stillness, reminding you that you too can be strong and calm, that you too can hold the memory of fire and yet radiate peace. So let these images fill you now. The curves of lava frozen mid-flow, the softness of moss covering stone, the calm of craters filled with water, the majesty of perfect cones rising into the clouds. Each is a testament to time, to patience, to silence, to the balance of creation. Each is an invitation to breathe more deeply, to release more fully, to rest more completely. And as you surrender to that invitation, you become part of these landscapes, part of their silence, part of their calm. Block 7, the fires beneath the sea. Beneath the vast blue surface of the oceans, where sunlight fades into twilight and twilight into darkness, the earth breathes in ways that most of us never see. Volcanoes are not only mountains that rise above the land, they are also hidden wonders beneath the sea, shaping the seafloor, birthing islands and feeding life in the depths. Imagine drifting downward into this underwater world, your body weightless, carried by currents as soft as dreams, until you see faint glows in the darkness, small flickers of orange and red that pulse like distant lanterns. These are the fires beneath the sea, underwater volcanoes that rise from the ocean floor, creating landscapes as strange and serene as the surface of another planet. Far from the noise of waves and winds, underwater eruptions unfold slowly, quietly, without the violence that we often associate with volcanoes. Molten rock seeps from the seafloor, glowing briefly before cooling into black stone, layering upon itself over centuries until an island eventually pushes through the water and greets the sky. Many of the islands we know and love, Hawaii, Iceland, the Galapagos, were born this way, emerging from the ocean like dreams made solid. To think of this as you rest is to imagine the earth creating new worlds in silence, patiently, with movements so gentle and hidden that they almost feel like secrets whispered only to the sea. Around these underwater volcanoes, life thrives in unexpected ways. Hydrothermal vents, places where heated water bursts from the Earth's crust, release warmth and minerals into the cold depths, creating oases where no sunlight reaches. Entire communities of strange and beautiful creatures live here. Tube worms as tall as a person, clams with shells that shimmer like pearls, shrimp that glow faintly in the dark. These beings rely not on sunlight, but on the hidden breath of the earth, proving that life can bloom in silence, in darkness, in the most unlikely places. To picture this is to remember that even in your quietest, darkest moments, there is still growth, still renewal, still light waiting to emerge. The sea muffles the voice of volcanoes, turning eruptions into gentle clouds of bubbles, turning lava into shapes softened by water. Imagine floating near such a place in your mind, surrounded not by fear but by wonder, watching as the earth and the ocean meet in harmony. You see steam rise like veils, you feel the water warm around you, and you notice how everything moves slowly here, as though time itself has surrendered to calm. There is no rush in the depths. There is only the patient unfolding of creation, hidden beneath waves as eternal as sleep. Some underwater volcanoes grow so vast that they dwarf the mountains on land. Mauna Loa in Hawaii, if measured from its true base on the ocean floor, is the largest mountain in the world, rising taller than Everest. Yet most of it lies hidden beneath the waves. To imagine this is to feel awe, not from fear but from stillness, from knowing that immense things can remain unseen, that greatness does not always demand attention, that silence often holds the deepest power. In this truth, you find a reflection of your own journey into rest. The quiet moments, the unseen depths of sleep, are where true renewal begins. Now picture yourself lying near the shore of a volcanic island, hearing waves lap gently against black sand beaches formed from cooled lava. The sand is dark, soft, warm beneath you, and the rhythm of the waves carries you like a lullaby. Beneath the sea, the fires still burn, shaping new land, but above, all is calm. Stars shimmer overhead, the moon paints silver lines across the water, and you feel the world expand endlessly, as though the ocean itself is breathing you into dreams. The fires beneath the sea do not disturb this peace. They sustain it, they create it. They remind you that hidden movements shape the visible world, just as your inner rest tonight shapes the days to come. So let this image guide you further. The hidden volcanoes glowing in the dark, the quiet creatures living in their warmth, the islands rising patiently toward the sky. These fires are not storms but lanterns, steady and timeless, cradled in the ocean's embrace. And as you drift with them now, you too become part of that embrace, part of the hidden calm that flows beneath all things, part of the eternal rhythm of the earth's breath beneath the sea. Block 8, the gift of fertile ash. When you hear the word ash, you might imagine something lifeless, the gray dust left behind after a fire is passed, fragile particles drifting aimlessly in the wind. But when it comes to volcanoes, ash is not a symbol of emptiness. It is a symbol of renewal, of transformation, of the earth giving back what it once kept hidden. Volcanic ash, though light as dust, is filled with minerals carried from deep within the planet. And when it falls across the land, it does not strip life away. It prepares the soil for rebirth. To think of this as you rest is to imagine the world constantly turning endings into beginnings, constantly weaving destruction into creation, constantly finding ways to cradle life in the arms of silence. Picture a valley after an eruption. For a moment, everything is quiet, covered in a pale blanket of ash. Trees are gray, fields are still, houses lie silent. Yet beneath that stillness, a secret begins. Rain falls, carrying the ash into the ground, mixing its minerals into the soil. Seeds, once waiting in the shadows, awaken. Within months, green sprouts push through the gray, forests return, and the land becomes more fertile than it was before. It is as though the earth had spread its own nourishment across the fields, turning fire into food, silence into abundance. To imagine such a transformation is to remember that even your most difficult moments can carry hidden gifts, waiting to bloom when the time is right. Across the world, entire civilizations have grown strong in the shadow of volcanoes, relying on the fertility of volcanic ash to feed their people. The slopes of Mount Vesuvius, though once feared for its eruption that buried Pompeii, now cradle vineyards and orchards that thrive in soil richer than any other. On the island of Java, in Indonesia, rice terraces spread across volcanic valleys, each grain nourished by minerals brought from the depths of the earth. In Central America, coffee plants grow tall and strong in volcanic soil, their beans carrying flavors shaped by ash, by fire, by time. To taste such fruit is to taste the breath of the planet, the memory of eruptions transformed into sweetness. Volcanic ash also travels farther than we think. Winds carry it across continents, settling softly on distant lands, feeding forests thousands of miles away. It becomes part of rivers, part of lakes, part of the oceans, weaving itself into the cycle of life across the globe. In this way, volcanoes share their hidden gifts with the whole planet, reminding us that what begins in one place can nourish another, that every act of release carries ripples of renewal, that even the smallest particles can sustain life in vast and quiet ways. Imagine lying down in a field where volcanic ash has settled. The ground is soft, the air faintly scented with minerals, the silence deep and gentle. Around you, tiny plants begin to grow, their leaves small but full of promise, reaching upward toward the light. The land feels alive beneath you, whispering of patience, of cycles, of endless transformation. You realize that you too are part of such cycles, that every day that ends, every moment you release, every breath you exhale, carries within it the potential for renewal. Sleep itself is such a cycle, the ash of one day settling softly over your body and mind, preparing the soil of your being for growth, for strength, for the dawn to come. Volcanic ash, fragile as it seems, is one of the strongest reminders that endings are never final. They are beginnings in disguise, waiting quietly beneath the surface until time calls them forward. As you breathe deeply now, feel this truth settling into you like ash on a field, gentle, steady, nourishing. Let it prepare you for rest, for dreams, for the renewal that comes each night when you surrender to sleep. Just as the earth renews itself through ash, you too will wake renewed, stronger, gentler, and more alive, and more. Block 9, Volcanoes and the Dance of the Skies. When a volcano breathes into the heavens, the sky itself becomes part of its story. Ash, steam, and light weave together, creating skies unlike any other. Skies painted with colors that carry both mystery and calm. Though eruptions can sound fierce, what lingers in memory for many are the visions they leave behind. Sunsets deepen to crimson, dawns painted with violet and gold, twilights that stretch farther than the horizon, as if the heavens themselves were brushed by the hand of the earth. To imagine this while resting is to see the skies above, not as distant or unreachable, but as partners in the slow rhythm of the planet, moving with the breath of volcanoes, glowing with their quiet gifts. In the quiet after eruptions, tiny particles of ash and gases rise high into the atmosphere, scattering sunlight into softer shades. For months, sometimes years, the skies above regions touched by volcanoes glow with colors more vivid than usual. Painters across history have captured these skies in their art, their brushstrokes echoing the delicate hues shaped by volcanic breath. Think of a horizon after Krakatoa's eruption in the 19th century, described as waves of purple and orange, sunsets that lingered long into the evening, light diffused into patterns so mesmerizing that poets wrote of them. Travelers paused in wonder, and hearts found stillness simply by gazing upward. Though born of fire, these skies brought quiet awe, and even now to picture them is to feel the same sense of timeless wonder. The dance of the skies is not only about color, but about the way light softens in the presence of volcanic air. Imagine lying down in a field after such a time, the ash long settled into the ground, the air clear but touched with a softness that bends the sunlight into gentle halos. Clouds glow with a faint blush, stars twinkle with unusual brilliance, and the moon shines with a silver that feels closer, warmer. To be under such a sky is to feel wrapped in the embrace of the universe, as though the heavens themselves are leaning down to whisper calm into your night. There is also a deeper rhythm to this dance. Volcanoes release not only particles but also stories into the air, memories of the Earth's depths carried upward, dispersed across winds, traveling far beyond their origins. The air you breathe tonight may once have touched the rim of Etna, or drifted past the peaks of Fuji, or circled above Iceland's volcanoes before finding its way to you. This invisible journey binds you to places you have never seen, reminding you that all breath, all air, all life is connected. And in that connection lies peace, the kind of peace that comes when you realize you are part of something greater, part of a sky that has been painted by countless eruptions across endless centuries. Imagine now a night where the auroras dance above volcanic peaks. In Iceland and Alaska, such moments happen. The green and violet lights of the northern skies shimmering above slopes still warm from the Earth's heart. Fire below, light above, and between them the silence of snow and stone. To see this in thought is to witness balance, the earth and sky speaking in colors, creating a harmony that needs no words, no sound, only stillness. And as you let this vision flow through you, you feel your body grow heavier, your breath slower, your mind softer, as though you too were becoming part of this luminous dance. Volcanoes remind us that the earth and the sky are never separate. They breathe into each other, shaping each other, balancing each other. The skies above carry the memory of fire in their colors, and the earth below holds the memory of light in its peaks. To rest with this thought is to know that you, too, are a bridge between earth and sky, between breath and dream, between waking and sleep. Just as volcanoes send their whispers upward to paint the heavens, you send your thoughts upward tonight, letting them scatter, soften, and dissolve into the quiet expanse of dreams. So let the dance of the sky soothe you now. Let the colors of volcanic sunsets settle gently into your imagination. Let the glow of distant stars remind you of the vastness of calm. And let the slow rhythm of your breath carry you into the same stillness that has filled skies for centuries. The earth paints with fire, the sky answers with light, and between them you drift into sleep, carried by the harmony of both. Block 10, Eternal Guardians of Fire and Dream. Welcome again, gentle traveler, to the soft continuation of this journey, where time has slowed into near silence, and even your thoughts are growing light, dissolving into the rhythm of the earth's breath. Tonight, as we move deeper into the embrace of volcanoes, we pause to reflect on the guardianship they embody. Volcanoes are often remembered for their force, yet when we rest beneath their presence with calm eyes and a still heart, we see them as protectors, as timeless watchers that rise above the world, holding within them the memory of fire and the promise of creation. They are eternal guardians, not of destruction, but of balance, of patience, of the slow and steady truth that life is born not only in calm, but also in flame, and that from both emerges beauty. Picture yourself standing at the base of one such guardian. It towers above you, its slopes dark against a twilight sky, its summit softened by snow or kissed by clouds. The air is hushed, the silence profound, yet it does not feel empty. It feels alive. The mountain hums faintly with the memory of its inner fire, but it is not restless. It is steady, as though it has chosen to rest with you tonight, as though it has agreed to watch over your sleep. Around you the land spreads wide, fertile and generous, a gift of the guardian's ancient breath. Trees grow, rivers flow, villages nestle into the slopes, all living under its shadow not with fear, but with gratitude. To imagine this scene is to feel that you too are under protection, that you too are being watched over, safe, calm, embraced by something larger than yourself. Guardianship is not about noise, it is about presence. And volcanoes embody presence in its purest form. They do not hurry, they do not chase, they do not demand. They simply exist, rising with dignity, waiting with patience, releasing their breath when the time is right. To rest with them is to learn that you, too, can be present without effort, that your value is not in rushing but in being, that your strength lies in stillness. As you let your body grow heavier on the surface beneath you, as your eyelids soften, you become like the mountain, steady, timeless, grounded. Guardianship is also about memory. Volcanoes remember the Earth's inner fire, and though they rest now, that memory glows within them still. In the same way, your own body remembers every breath you have taken, every moment of strength, every step you have walked. Even as you release the day, even as you surrender to sleep, those memories remain inside you, glowing softly like embers that never fade. And in your rest, they will transform into new energy, into new life, into new dreams waiting for dawn. As you picture these guardians now, imagine a circle of volcanoes around the world. Fuji, Etna, Kilimanjaro, Mauna Kea, Stromboli, Vesuvius, and countless others. Each one standing silently, each one holding the earth in balance, each one breathing slowly in unison. Together, they form a chain across continents and seas, a necklace of guardians draped around the planet, watching, waiting, breathing. To hold this image in your mind is to feel the entire world cradle you tonight, to feel the earth itself become your guardian, whispering that you are safe, that you can rest, that you can let go. And so, dear traveler, as you drift further into the calm of this night, I gently invite you once more to become part of this sanctuary we are building together. If this journey has soothed you, if these guardians have kept your thoughts still and carried you closer to rest, I encourage you to like this video, to share it with others who may need peace, to leave a comment below about the image that brought you the most calm, and to subscribe to this channel so that you may return night after night to more stories that will guide you into dreams. Each small gesture you make adds to this circle of serenity, keeping it alive for all who wander here seeking rest. The guardians are eternal, their fire hidden but never gone, their silence steady, their presence endless. And tonight, as you surrender yourself to their care, you become part of their dream, part of their stillness, part of their balance. Sleep then, knowing you are safe in their embrace, knowing you are watched over by the eternal guardians of fire and dream. Block 11, the endless patience of stone. When you think of a volcano, perhaps your mind goes first to fire, to heat, to movement. But in truth, much of a volcano's life is spent in stillness, in silence, in a state of waiting that stretches across centuries. This waiting is not emptiness, it is presence. The stone that shapes a volcano is the slowest of storytellers, speaking in layers, in lines, in quiet forms that only reveal themselves when you pause long enough to notice. To imagine this as you rest is to see time not as something rushing past, but as something settling around you, like a blanket, soft, steady, protective. Picture a volcanic slope in the early morning, long after any eruption has passed. The stone here is rough but dignified, built of countless flows that hardened one upon another, each layer a memory of fire long gone. Sunlight brushes across its surface, catching glimmers of crystal in the rock, reminding you that even in the hardest material, beauty hides, waiting to be revealed. The air is cool, the ground firm beneath your feet, and the silence is vast. Nothing presses you here, nothing hurries. Everything is patient, everything is stone. Volcanoes remind us that patience is not passive. It is active, alive, full of quiet strength. A single rock may take centuries to form, a slope may take millennia, a mountain may rise across millions of years. Yet in each moment, the process continues, steady and unstoppable. Like a heartbeat too slow for us to notice, but too steady to ever cease. When you bring this thought into your rest, you too become steady. You too become patient, your body learning from stone how to wait, how to breathe, how to hold without strain. Now imagine yourself lying on a broad expanse of cooled lava. The surface is uneven but solid, carved into ripples and ridges that look like frozen waves. You place your hand on the stone, and it feels cool, grounding, as if it were holding you in return. Beneath it, far deeper than you can sense, warmth still flows, but the stone does not reveal it. It simply waits, layer upon layer, building, remembering, existing. To rest on this surface is to feel time itself beneath you. Not rushing, but expanding, opening, stretching endlessly. You are no longer bound to hours or days. You are cradled in patience that has no end. Some volcanic stones even speak of transformation beyond imagination. Obsidian, born when lava cools too quickly, shines like black glass, its surface smooth and reflective, catching light in a way that feels otherworldly. Pumice, formed from frothy lava, floats upon water, impossibly light, carrying with it the memory of both fire and air. These stones, born of extremes, remind us that patience also means diversity, that out of the same fire can come weight and lightness, hardness and fragility, darkness and brilliance. To dream with this thought is to accept all parts of yourself, the heavy and the light, the rough and the smooth, as necessary, as beautiful, as eternal. Think now of cliffs shaped by ancient eruptions, their walls layered like pages of a book. Each band of rock is a chapter, each color a sentence, each mineral a word in the story of the earth. To look upon such cliffs is to read history written not in ink, but in stone. Stories that stretch beyond human memory, beyond even human existence. And yet, here they stand, silent and open, ready to be read by anyone who pauses long enough to listen. To carry this image into sleep is to know that your own story, too, is layered, too, is patient, too, is still unfolding in quiet ways you may not yet see. Volcanoes, through their endless patience, show us that strength is not in noise or speed, but in endurance, in the steady holding of form, in the quiet embrace of time. As you breathe now slowly and evenly, imagine your body becoming like stone, not heavy in a burdensome way, but grounded, steady, supported. Each inhale lays down a new layer of calm. Each exhale releases the heat of the day, cooling into silence. Little by little, you become part of the mountain, part of the patience, part of the stone. So let the endless patience of stone guide you deeper tonight. Let its silence seep into you. Let its endurance steady you. Let its quiet strength remind you that you too can rest without hurry, can wait without worry, can exist without striving. In the stillness of volcanic stone lies a truth older than memory, that patience is peace, and peace is the pathway to dreams. Block 12. Valleys born from fire. There are valleys in this world that hold a secret more ancient than memory. Valleys that look gentle now, with rivers, fields, and quiet forests, but whose birth came from fire. These are volcanic valleys, places carved not only by water and wind, but by the movement of molten stone, by the quiet persistence of lava flowing and cooling, shaping the ground into wide cradles where life now thrives. To imagine such a valley is to feel the paradox of the earth, fire becoming soil, chaos becoming calm, eruption becoming silence. It is to remember that even the most powerful beginnings can lead to the gentlest landscapes, places where your thoughts can wander safely, where your breath can settle, where sleep can find you with ease. Picture yourself walking slowly through such a valley at dusk. Around you, the ground is dark and fertile, scattered with grasses and flowers that sway gently in the evening breeze. A river winds through the center, its water clear, reflecting the sky above as stars begin to appear. In the distance, the silent silhouette of a volcano watches, its slopes softened by time, its fire hidden deep within, its memory present but not pressing. The valley feels like a cradle, wide and steady, carrying you as though you were part of its story. With every step you take, the quiet expands, the silence deepens, until you feel your own thoughts dissolving into the stillness. Volcanic valleys are among the most fertile places on Earth. The ash and minerals left behind by eruptions transform the soil into rich ground where crops grow strong and abundant. Rice terraces in Indonesia, vineyards in Italy, coffee fields in Central America, all thrive in valleys born from fire. Generations of people have lived here, planting and harvesting, feeding families and communities, finding life in the shadow of mountains that once roared. To think of this is to see not destruction but gift, not fear but renewal, not endings but beginnings. Each valley whispers that what seems harsh today may become nourishment tomorrow, that fire always carries within it the promise of growth. Imagine resting in such a valley as night deepens. The air is cool, carrying the faint scent of blossoms, the sound of water flowing softly. Fireflies drift above the grass, their glow like tiny sparks that remind you of the fire buried deep beneath the ground. Yet here, everything is calm. The valley breathes with you, the earth's hidden warmth mingling with the night's cool embrace, balancing perfectly around your body. You feel lighter, safer, as if the valley itself were holding you, as if the soil beneath you were cushioning your rest, whispering stories of patience and transformation. Valleys born from fire also remind us of cycles, of the way the earth reshapes itself again and again. An eruption may carve a crater, a flow may harden into stone, but over time, rain falls, seeds scatter, rivers carve channels, and life returns stronger than before. To picture this is to let go of worry, to know that even after upheaval, balance will return, silence will arrive, calm will follow. Just as the valley renews itself, so too do you renew yourself in sleep, reshaping your strength, restoring your spirit, preparing for dawn. As you breathe slowly now, imagine lying in the grass of such a valley, the volcano watching silently from afar, the stars wide above, the river whispering nearby. The earth beneath you is rich with memory, rich with minerals, rich with life. You are part of this richness, part of this cycle, part of this balance, and as you surrender to rest, you carry within you the same truth that lives in valleys born from fire, that even after flames there is calm, that even after endings there is growth, that even in silence there is renewal. Block 13, the circle of creation. All around the world, volcanoes remind us that nothing is ever truly lost, that every moment of fire and silence belongs to a greater cycle, a circle of creation that continues endlessly. To imagine this circle is to imagine the earth breathing in and out, building and releasing, destroying and renewing, all in a rhythm as steady as the rise and fall of your own chest as you rest tonight. Volcanoes are not simply eruptions frozen in memory. They are teachers of cycles, showing us how beginnings and endings are woven together, how every collapse carries within it the seed of new growth, how every quiet valley was once a field of fire, how every fertile vineyard was once ash drifting in the wind. Picture a volcano from above, not as a mountain but as a circle. Its crater is a bowl carved by time, sometimes empty, sometimes filled with water, sometimes covered with trees. Around it, rings of stone spread outward, each one a layer, each one a memory of fire cooled into stillness. Beyond those rings, fields stretch wide, forests grow, rivers move. What once seemed violent has become a circle of life, reaching outward, feeding everything it touches. This circle is not hurried. It expands slowly, patiently, over centuries, over millennia, until one day the crater itself may collapse, creating a caldera, wide and open, ready for yet another transformation. To see this in your mind is to realize that circles do not end. They continue, folding back into themselves, expanding again, infinite and calm. Volcanoes show us that creation is not a straight line. It is not an upward climb. It is a circle, always turning, always balancing itself. Lava that once flowed becomes soil, soil becomes crops, crops become nourishment, and life continues. The air filled with volcanic breath becomes sky. The minerals carried in ash become rivers and lakes. The very oceans are shaped by the building and sinking of volcanic islands. To think of this circle is to feel your own place within it. You are not separate from the earth's rhythm. You too belong to a circle. Breath in, breath out, wake and sleep, day and night. To drift into dreams is to enter that circle again, to become part of its renewal. Imagine now a volcanic island rising from the sea. First a crack, then a small mound of stone. then a peak that grows over years, covered by waves and storms, yet always rising. One day, seeds arrive by wind or bird. Plants take root, animals follow, people settle. Generations pass, stories are told, lives are lived. Then the volcano sleeps, the island thrives, until one day it exhales again, reshaping itself, destroying and creating at once. And after the fire fades, the circle continues. Soil returns, plants return, life returns. The island is not destroyed, it is renewed. This is the eternal gift of the circle of creation. In your own life, you may feel moments of fire, times of change, of loss, of endings that feel final. But if you listen to the lesson of volcanoes, you will see that those fires are not the end. They are the turning of the circle, the beginning of renewal you cannot yet see. Sleep tonight becomes part of that circle. The day fades, thoughts burn and dissolve, silence falls, and from that silence, new strength will rise in the morning. Sleep is your circle of creation, your renewal, your quiet eruption of life. As you breathe now, slowly and evenly, imagine yourself lying within that circle. Perhaps you rest at the edge of a caldera, its walls high and wide, its floor filled with water that reflects the stars. The volcano surrounds you like an embrace, open and eternal, holding you within its memory of fire and silence. You are part of its circle, and as you let go of your thoughts, you feel yourself turning with it, slowly, endlessly, calmly. There is no end here, only continuation, only balance, only peace. So let the circle of creation carry you deeper into the night. Let it remind you that nothing is wasted, nothing is lost, nothing is final. Everything returns, everything transforms, everything belongs. And in that belonging, you too are renewed, you too are safe, you too are part of the circle. Block 14, the quiet architects of islands. If you look at a map of the earth, scattered across the oceans are countless islands, some small and solitary, others vast and filled with mountains and forests. Many of them share the same secret. They were born from volcanoes, slowly, patiently, rising from the depths of the sea until they touched the sky. Volcanoes are the quiet architects of islands, the unseen builders who shape land where once there was only water. To picture this is to imagine the earth sketching patiently, adding brushstroke after brushstroke of lava, cooling it into stone, and then letting time soften that stone into soil, soil into forest, forest into life. The islands that now shimmer with palm trees, beaches, and birdsong were once fiery embers glowing in the middle of the sea. To remember this is to feel the deep patience of creation, the slow artistry of the earth itself. Imagine drifting across the Pacific Ocean at dawn. The water stretches endlessly, calm and silver beneath the soft light of the rising sun. On the horizon, you see a shape, dark and steady, rising from the waves, a volcanic island. At first it seems simple, only a cone of stone. But as you come closer in thought, you see forests spreading across its slopes, rivers winding down to the sea, villages along its shores. Life has flourished here, life that would not exist without the quiet work of the volcano beneath. The island is not an accident. It is the result of centuries of molten breath, of fire cooled into land, of patience unfolding in silence. Every volcanic island carries a story of transformation. In Hawaii, lava once flowed into the sea, building inch by inch until entire mountains emerged. Those mountains are now covered with flowers, with animals found nowhere else on Earth, with people who sing and live in harmony with the land. In the Galapagos, volcanic islands became a sanctuary of life so unique that they revealed secrets of evolution itself, life shaped by the isolation and richness of volcanic soil. In Iceland, fire and ice meet on the same islands, glaciers flowing down the sides of volcanoes, hot springs bubbling beneath snow, a paradox held in perfect balance. Each island whispers the same truth, that creation is slow, that beauty is patient, that land itself can rise from the sea when given enough time. Picture yourself walking along a black sand beach, the kind that exists only on volcanic shores. The sand is warm beneath your feet, soft but carrying the memory of fire. The waves lap gently, their foam white against the dark grains, and the horizon stretches into infinity. Behind you, the volcano rises silent and strong, while before you the ocean breathes in and out, steady as sleep. You feel caught between two infinities, the fire of the earth and the water of the sea. And in that place you are perfectly balanced, perfectly calm. Volcanoes are architects not only of islands but of belonging. They remind us that even in the vastness of the sea, new land can emerge, that even in loneliness, connection is possible, that even in emptiness, creation waits. The islands they shape are cradles of life, sanctuaries of silence, places where the earth speaks softly through stone and soil. To imagine them is to remember that you too can build new ground beneath yourself, that you too can rise from depths into light, that you too can find peace in the middle of vastness. As you breathe now, imagine lying on the shore of such an island. The air is filled with the scent of salt and flowers, the sky painted with stars, the sound of waves steady and endless. Beneath you, the sand is warm, shaped by fire long ago, shaped by patience, shaped by the quiet hand of the earth. You are safe here, resting on land that was born from fire and yet now holds only calm. And as you surrender to the night, you realize that you are part of this same quiet architecture, that your dreams tonight are the foundations of tomorrow, that your sleep is the island rising within you, built slowly, patiently, gently. So let the quiet architects of islands hold you tonight. Let their patience remind you of your own strength. Let their silence remind you of your own calm. Let their endless artistry carry you into dreams as steady and soothing as the waves against volcanic shores. Block 15, the songs of steam and stone. When the earth exhales through its volcanoes, it does not always speak in fire. Often it sings in steam, in whispers of warmth rising gently from hidden vents, in soft rumbles that roll across valleys like distant thunder. These sounds, so subtle and patient, are the songs of steam and stone, the quiet music of the planet's breath. If you listen closely in your imagination, you can hear it now, a faint hiss, a low hum, the bubbling of water heated by fire below, the sigh of gases escaping into the air. Nothing harsh, nothing frightening, only the lullaby of the earth itself, reminding you that it is alive, that it is steady, that it is here to cradle you as you rest. In places like Iceland or Japan, hot springs bubble gently where volcanic heat meets water, creating pools where steam rises in graceful ribbons against the sky. The sound here is soft and constant, a rhythm that eases the mind into calm. Imagine sitting beside such a spring, your body warmed by the air, your thoughts quieted by the steady bubbling. Around you, moss covers rocks, the air smells faintly of minerals, and the only sound is this soothing song of the earth, carrying you into stillness. It is a reminder that warmth can comfort, that silence can speak, that even the hidden breath of the planet can become a companion in rest. Volcanoes also rumble with deep tones, not sharp or sudden, but rolling and low like the echo of waves inside a cavern. Scientists measure these sounds to understand the movement of magma beneath the surface, but for those who hear them, They are like the voice of the earth itself, slow, calm, ancient. To imagine these rumbles as you breathe is to feel your own body align with that rhythm, your heartbeat slowing, your breath deepening, your mind becoming still. It is as though the earth is humming you to sleep, its voice too deep for words, too steady to disturb, carrying you into the quiet of dreams. Even the crackle of cooling lava has its music. As molten rock hardens into stone, it makes small sounds, like wood settling in a fireplace, like rain tapping gently on leaves. Each sound is a note in the song of creation, a song that continues long after the fire has gone. To imagine lying near a flow at night, hearing those faint crackles while stars shine above, is to rest within a harmony of elements, fire and air and stone all weaving together into a lullaby older than memory. And then there is silence, the most powerful song of all. After an eruption, when the fire fades and the ash is settled, there comes a stillness so complete that it feels sacred. No birds call, no wind moves, no sound remains but your own breath. In that silence, the volcano's song is not absence but fullness, a pause so deep that it carries the weight of everything that came before. To rest within such silence, even in thought, is to feel completely held, completely safe, completely free of all urgency. As you let your body grow heavier now, as your eyes soften and your breathing slows, let the songs of steam and stone guide you. Let the hiss of steam remind you of release. Let the low rumble remind you of steadiness. Let the crackle of cooling stone remind you of transformation. Let the silence remind you of peace. The earth sings constantly, and tonight, its song is your lullaby. Block 16, the glow of distant horizons. There is a moment, often in the quiet of night, when a volcano reveals its presence not with sound or eruption, but with light. Far across valleys, beyond forests and rivers, a faint glow may rise on the horizon, soft and steady, painting the sky with a gentle orange. This glow is not violent. It is patient, distant, almost dreamlike. It is as though the earth has lit a lantern for the night, a beacon of warmth to remind those who see it that the world is alive, breathing silently, watching. To imagine this glow as you lie down is to feel a sense of calm assurance, as though someone had left a light on for you, a reminder that you are never alone in the dark. Travelers across history have written of this glow. Sailors on the sea who saw volcanic light before seeing land. Shepherds who watched the night horizon flicker faintly, as if a second sunset lingered beyond the mountains. Wanderers who rested by its warmth without fear. For them, this light was not a warning but a guide, a sign of presence, a reminder of the earth's steady heart beating beneath the surface. To think of such stories as you drift into sleep is to know that guidance can come from the quietest places, that even the most distant glow can carry comfort across miles of darkness. Volcanoes paint horizons not only with fire but also with reflection. Ash carried high into the sky scatters sunlight into breathtaking colors, making dawns more golden, sunsets more crimson, twilights more violet. Entire seasons have been touched by such gifts, skies that seem to burn with beauty, skies that slowed the hearts of those who gazed upon them. Imagine lying in a field, watching such a horizon, the air cool around you, the earth firm beneath you, your eyes filled with colors too deep to name. Time slows, the world feels endless, your thoughts drift like clouds. Sleep approaches with the same patience as the changing sky. The glow of volcanoes can also be gentle and close. Think of lava lakes, rare and mesmerizing, where molten rock rests in vast pools, bubbling softly, glowing like embers in a fireplace. The light flickers across stone walls, painting them with warmth, and the sound is not thunderous but steady, a low rhythm, a heartbeat of fire. To imagine standing near such a place is to feel the balance of opposites: heat and cool air, movement and stillness, depth and calm. Even here, where fire shows itself openly, there is no need for fear. There is only the comfort of knowing that the earth's inner life glows endlessly, carrying on its rhythm beneath your feet. At times the glow fades, hidden once more beneath layers of stone and silence. Yet it always remains, waiting patiently to return. This rhythm of appearing and disappearing mirrors your own journey into sleep. At first your mind glows with thoughts, flickering like lava at the surface, bright and restless. But slowly, steadily, the glow dims, the thoughts settle, the surface cools, and what remains is calm, deep, and steady. Sleep is your hidden horizon, glowing softly within, unseen by others but carrying the promise of renewal. So as you breathe deeply now, picture the glow of distant horizons. Let it guide you into stillness. Let it remind you that even in the darkest night, there is light, steady and endless. The volcano glows not to frighten, but to reassure, to remind you that life continues in silence, that warmth endures in stillness, that the earth holds a lantern for you in the vastness of night. Block 17, the hidden heart of mountains. When you gaze at a volcano from afar, what you see is a mountain, solid, immovable, silent. Yet within that mountain lies a heart, hidden and alive, pulsing slowly with warmth that has traveled from the very core of the earth. This heart does not beat as ours do. Its rhythm is slower, vaster, measured not in seconds but in centuries. And still it beats, sending quiet waves of energy upward, filling the stone with memory, with patience, with life. To imagine this hidden heart as you rest tonight is to feel your own inner warmth reflected, to realize that you too carry a quiet fire within, steady and calm, waiting to nourish you even in silence. Deep inside, beneath layers of rock laid down over countless years, magma collects in chambers like vast reservoirs of light. Most of the time, it does not rush or press. It simply rests, glowing softly in darkness, as if the earth itself were dreaming. The stone above holds it, shapes it, contains it, and the mountain remains still. This balance of pressure and patience is what allows volcanoes to exist, what allows them to rise high and remain steady, what allows them to breathe in their own time. To picture this in your imagination is to understand that strength is not only about release, it is also about holding, about waiting, about being patient with your own hidden depths. The hidden heart of a volcano is also a teacher of resilience. Though unseen, it carries the power to renew landscapes, to build islands, to feed valleys. And yet it does not need to reveal itself constantly. It waits, sometimes for centuries, sometimes for millennia, resting silently, never ceasing to exist, always present. You too have such resilience. Even when you feel quiet, even when you feel still, your own hidden heart continues to beat, continues to carry warmth, continues to prepare you for what comes next. Rest is not emptiness. It is strength gathering itself. Imagine walking across the slope of a dormant volcano. Around you, forests grow, rivers flow, birds sing, and there is no sign of fire. Yet you know that deep within, the mountain holds its hidden heart. It is not dangerous in this moment. It is protective, steady, alive in its own rhythm. The thought brings calm, for it reminds you that life continues even when unseen, that warmth endures even when hidden, that silence does not mean absence, but presence. Sometimes the hidden heart reveals itself in small ways, steam rising from cracks in the ground, warm springs bubbling quietly, faint tremors like sighs of the earth. These are not warnings but reminders, whispers from the heart of the mountain that it is still there, still breathing, still alive. They are gentle reassurances, like the beating of your own heart beneath your chest, reminding you that you are present, that you are steady, that you are held by rhythms older and deeper than thought. As you breathe slowly now, imagine your body as a mountain and your heart as a quiet volcano within. Its warmth glows in silence, circulating through you, steady and unhurried. You do not need to release it now. You only need to hold it, to feel its presence, to let it soothe you as you sink into rest. The hidden heart does not rush. It waits, it carries, it endures. So too can you. Let this vision guide you deeper into stillness. The mountains above you stand strong, their hearts glowing unseen, their patience endless. And within you, the same truth glows, the same patience rests, the same heart beats. You are part of this hidden rhythm, part of this endless calm, part of the living earth itself. Block 18, the stillness after the flame. There comes a time in every volcanic story when the fire has passed, when the lava has cooled, when the smoke has faded into the sky. What remains then is stillness, a silence so deep that it feels sacred, as if the earth itself has paused to breathe. This stillness after the flame is one of the most calming truths a volcano can offer us. That even the most powerful forces of life must rest. That even fire eventually becomes stone. That even storms are followed by quiet. To rest with this image tonight is to let yourself believe that your own fires, your thoughts, your worries, your restless energy will also settle into silence, into peace, into sleep. Imagine a landscape just days after an eruption has ended. The ground is dark, covered in new stone and ash. The air still faintly warm. Yet there is no more movement, no more sound. The lava that once glowed has hardened into ripples and ridges, frozen mid-flow. The mountain that roared now stands mute, its summit veiled in clouds. Around it, the world is hushed. Birds wait before returning. Rivers adjust their paths. Winds move gently through the cooled fields. Everything is calm, everything is patient. To walk here in your imagination is to feel the weight of silence, not heavy but comforting, like a blanket draped across the earth. Over time, this stillness becomes fertile. Rain falls, seeds scatter. Moss spreads across the stone. What once burned becomes ground for new life. What once seemed final becomes the beginning of something else. This transformation is not rushed. It unfolds slowly, almost imperceptibly, over months, years, centuries, and yet it always unfolds. The stillness after the flame is not emptiness. It is preparation. It is renewal. It is the quiet pause that allows life to return stronger than before. To think of this as you breathe is to feel your own renewal stirring in silence, your own strength gathering as you sleep, your own new beginnings waiting gently for dawn. The stillness also carries beauty. Volcanoes that once erupted violently often leave behind calderas, vast craters that later fill with lakes of pure, still water. These lakes mirror the sky, reflecting stars at night and clouds by day, holding silence within their depths. Imagine lying beside such a lake, its surface smooth as glass, the air cool around you, the world completely still. The fire that created this place is gone, but its memory remains, transformed into peace. What was once chaos is now serenity. What was once flame is now reflection. To dream of such a place is to feel your own reflections deepening, your own mind becoming clear, your own rest becoming profound. The stillness after the flame is also a teacher of trust. It reminds us that storms end, that heat cools, that noise fades, that nothing lasts forever except the rhythm of change. You do not need to cling to restlessness or fear. You can let it pass. You can trust that calm will return. Just as the earth holds its silence after fire, you can hold your silence after thought, after worry, after wakefulness. In that silence lies healing. In that silence lies peace. As you breathe deeply now, imagine that your thoughts are flames flickering across your mind. One by one, they soften, they fade, they cool. The surface grows calm, your body grows heavier, your mind grows still. You are entering the same silence that follows fire, the same stillness that fills the earth when it rests. And in that stillness, you are safe, you are calm, you are free. So let the stillness after the flame cradle you tonight. Let it remind you that endings carry beginnings, that silence carries renewal, that peace always follows fire. Sleep now in that stillness, knowing that you are part of the earth's rhythm, that your rest tonight is as natural, as timeless, and as sacred as the calm that settles over mountains after the flame. Block 19, Dreams in the Shadow of Giants. When night falls over the slopes of volcanoes, something almost magical happens. The mountains that dominate the horizon by day, strong and immovable, soften under the glow of the moon and the shimmer of stars. Their jagged ridges turn into silhouettes, their craters into gentle curves, their vastness into quiet guardians of sleep. To dream in the shadow of giants is to feel both protected and humbled, to know that you are small compared to the earth, yet infinitely embraced by it. Volcanoes at night are not fearful. They are companions of silence, watchers of dreams, eternal presences that remind you that even the largest forces can rest. Imagine lying in a valley at the base of such a giant. The ground beneath you is rich, warm with memory, steady as stone. Above, the volcano rises into the night sky, its slopes fading into darkness, its summit lost among clouds or crowned with snow that glows faintly under moonlight. Around you, the world is hushed. Only the wind moves, carrying the scent of earth and leaves, whispering softly as though not to disturb the sleeping mountain. You feel safe here, sheltered by its immensity, wrapped in its stillness as though the giant itself has agreed to guard your dreams. In places across the world, people have lived and slept in the shadows of volcanoes for generations. Villages nestle along their slopes, fields spread across their valleys, children play under their gaze, and families rest each night with the mountain rising quietly above them. These communities do not live in fear, but in connection, understanding that the land that sustains them is the gift of the volcano itself, that their soil, their rivers, their harvests were born of fire. To dream here is to dream in balance, to rest knowing that you are part of a cycle far older and larger than yourself. Volcanoes in the night also reveal lights of their own. Sometimes a faint glow lingers at the summit, like embers in a fireplace, steady and patient. Sometimes, only stars shimmer above, mirrored in lakes that fill old craters. Imagine yourself standing at such a lake, the volcano towering in silence beside you. The stars reflected in the water, the air still and cool. The mountain holds your presence without effort, reminding you of endurance, of calm, of patience. In its shadow, your dreams are safe, your sleep is deep, your spirit is at peace. The giants remind us that rest is not weakness but strength. They stand for millennia, not by rushing or shouting, but by waiting, by holding, by enduring. To dream in their shadow is to learn their lesson, that your own strength lies in patience, that your own renewal lies in stillness, that your own peace lies in surrender. As you let your body grow heavy now, as you breathe slowly, you become like the mountain, steady, quiet, alive within, resting without. So tonight, let yourself sleep in the shadow of giants. Let their silence guard you. Let their presence soothe you. Let their timelessness carry you. Your dreams will be safe beneath their watch. Your rest will be deep in their embrace. Your spirit will be renewed in their shadow. Block 20, the eternal rest of the earth. And now, dear traveler, we arrive at the final step of this journey, where all the images we have walked through together, of fire and stone, of ash and soil, of valleys and skies, gather into one truth. Volcanoes are not only forces of power but guardians of peace, teachers of stillness, companions in the rhythm of sleep. They show us that even the fiercest fire finds calm, that even the deepest silence carries life, that even the vast earth itself rests. To drift into dreams under their watch is to remember that you too belong to this rhythm, that you too are part of the earth's eternal rest. Imagine now a world completely hushed. The slopes of volcanoes stretch into the night, their ridges softened by darkness, their summits kissed by starlight. No eruptions disturb the air, no sounds break the silence. Only the slow breathing of the planet continues, steady and eternal, carrying you with it. You lie at the base of one of these mountains, the ground beneath you firm and warm, the sky above endless and shimmering. The air is still, the silence vast, the presence of the volcano around you comforting like a blanket. You are small, yet not insignificant. You are embraced by the patience of the earth itself. Think of all that has passed: lava that flowed and cooled into stone, ash that nourished valleys, craters that filled with water, skies that glowed with colors painted by volcanic breath. Each chapter of the volcano's story ends in calm. Each transformation leads back to silence. Each cycle returns to balance. The earth does not rush. It moves in circles, in cycles, in patterns as patient as eternity. And tonight, as you drift deeper, you are part of that eternity, part of that calm, part of that balance. Your own body mirrors the earth. Beneath your stillness, warmth flows. Beneath your silence, your heart beats. Beneath your dreams, life continues. You do not need to force anything now. You only need to rest, to let yourself be carried, to let the earth hold you as it holds mountains, as it holds seas, as it holds the quiet fires hidden deep within. Sleep is not escape. It is return. Return to rhythm. Return to balance. Return to the eternal rest that lives within you. So as this journey comes to its close, I invite you gently, softly, to remain with us beyond this night. If these words have brought you calm, if the images of volcanoes have guided you into peace, I ask you to like this video, to share it with others who may need rest, to leave a comment below telling us which image carried you deepest into stillness, and to subscribe to this channel so that you may return night after night to more journeys like this one. Your presence keeps this circle alive. Your gestures help this sanctuary of peace grow. And together we create a space where anyone can lay down their burdens and rest. And now, let the story dissolve. Let the volcano fade into the horizon, its fire quiet, its slope soft, its silence endless. Let the stars overhead guide you deeper into dreams. Let the earth cradle you as it has cradled life for millennia. You are safe. You are calm. You are part of the eternal rest of the earth. Sleep now, traveler. Sleep in peace. Sleep in stillness. Sleep forever in the gentle rhythm of the world.